Trying to get my button buttoned. It was not agreeing with me. So thank you so much for allowing me to come speak to you today. I really, really appreciate it. It's a huge honor and a blessing. What I wanted to talk to you about today was a journey that the Lord took me on several years ago. About 5-6 years ago, I began to feel very sad, disillusioned, unhappy, just not satisfied. And it was very against my personality. My personality is if you can't tell, it's kind of gargantuous. It's big, you know. And I was sad. I was not happy. And I tried to blame, the usuals. My boss, my career. So I changed those. Still unhappy. I tried to blame my wife. And, wasn't her fault. Then I tried, I tried my church. It was this. I'm not happy because of that. My passions, hobbies. And finally, the ego hit me in the face one day as God said, you know what, Ryan? You need to start listening. It's your fault. There's something wrong and broken inside you. And I began to think about where is the joy that the Bible speaks about? Where is this light and love? And it really revealed itself one day as I was driving up to a light. I don't know if you've done this before, but you drive up to a light and you're making a left-hand turn and the island is there right next to you. And you're not thinking, maybe you're on your way to work or on your way home from work, and then you see him. The homeless person with the sign. And a lot of us react differently, right? Some of us have the avoidance skills. Oh, what's that? Is there a bird over there? What? Oh, hey, is that Jim? Jim, hi, how you doing? Oh, time to go. And then there's others of us, and we squeeze the wheel, and it's a focus. I don't see anything. I don't hear anything. Nobody's asking me for anything. There's nothing going on here. And then I was the righteous indignation. How dare you ask me for money? I feel uncomfortable now. That is, just go away, go away, go away. And I just this attitude of, And I would always leave the lights, going away from this situation feeling like, why am I so upset? Why am I so angry? Why do I care that somebody asked me for money? And it really began to stir something inside and made me ask, where's the love? Where's the love? And I think a lot of us have dealt with this, and this is a journey God has taken me on of challenging me to ask, where was my love? You see, there was no requirement for me to roll down the window and give this person money. Because nowadays, I roll down the window and I say, hey, what's up? How you doing, man? Sorry, I don't have anything for you today, but stay strong, brother. Stay strong, sister. And you should see the smile on their faces. They just love to be treated like a human being. And for most of my life, I couldn't do that because something was broken inside here. And the journey God has taken me on the last few years, I think, is incredibly valuable. And I want to share a little bit of that with you. The first thing is that, you guys remember that story? Jesus is healing people and just being awesome like Jesus was. And a lawyer comes up. Because, the Sanhedrin and all the religious leaders of the day, they're always going after Jesus, trying to prove that he's wrong. And they send a lawyer after him. And a lot of us are thinking, I don't know how I'd handle that. Lawyers, right? Well, even back then, lawyers still had the reputation. And he says, Jesus, what's the greatest commandment? And you can just imagine this superior voice. He's probably schooled in Jerusalem, Harvard Yard of Jerusalem, or something like that. And Jesus looks at him and he goes, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. And in that passage, that so many of us, even those of us who don't follow the faith of Jesus Christ, know that passage, we always think about, okay, love God and love our neighbor. But there's a third person in there we forget. We forget that Jesus said, love God and love your neighbor as you love yourself. Love yourself? Well, that's not Christian. I can't love myself. I can only really challenge myself and humble myself and run away from all myself. I must always, you guys following my church experience, my life experience, my cultural experience has always been self-gratification, self this and that, self anything is bad. It's bad, 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 bad. But there is a very, very, very important principle that I missed in that. And it was this. This self, right here, this guy, hair, big cheeks, all that. Image of God. That's right. All right? Everyone take your finger like this for me. Just take your finger, all right? Right here, right in the middle of your chest. And say this, image of God. If you truly believe that you were made in the image of God, then it is not just necessary, but it is a sin to not love yourself. Just as much as you not loving your neighbor and just as much as you not loving God. Jesus put them all in the same place. He put them all on the same line. It's because when we think about love, we think about these linear objects of I choose to love this person, but not that person, but this person and not that person. Oh God, I love you, but that person. Love is a spherical object that grows from here to there on equal parts. There isn't a choice that you can make of being able to love this side or that side, but not that side. And so I used to be so judgmental, and I still work on it, but especially with people on the different side of the political aisle. I couldn't be friends with them. You don't belong to my club. I can't be friends with you. It's not allowed. But I used to think that was because I was just smarter and superior. It's good to know that I'm not the only one, right? But now I've realized it was not that. It was because I was insecure. And I still can be very insecure. And that insecurity comes out as being upset when somebody asks you for help. When you think, oh, you lazy bum, you need to get a job. Oh, you silly liberal, you silly conservative, you're stupid, you don't understand. It's because we haven't learned, and I never understood or realized the need to truly discipline my mind to love myself the way God loves me. To appreciate what he's given me physically, mentally, and emotionally. There's another thing that I learned that helped me to begin to start making friends with the homeless community. Not just to be nice to them, but I hang out with them and talk. I met a guy named Charles. I was going to the movies, and he was sitting there with his dog, and I just stopped, and I talked to him. It was so cool, because I was like, man, I don't have anything with me, but if I find you after the movies, I'll see if I can do something for you. And he's like, no, don't worry about it. This is all I want, man. I just want somebody to talk to you. You did it. And it's crazy to think, what has changed my perception? And one of those things is that I realized the success is in the eye of the beholder. Who was it that said bigger and fancier is success? And we all know this in our mind: a bigger bank account, the new Tesla, your brand new iPhone, whatever it is a status symbol, a Rolex, tailored suit. This means success. And we know in our mind that that's not true, but we still choose it with our brain because the society around us says that's good. And I began to ask, well, God, what is success? What is your success? And I believe that the answer is that the joy of him is meant to be our strength. And I began to see that whatever I would do to love those around me the way he wants me to, whatever I could do to see a smile from my Father in heaven, that was success. But it's hard, it's difficult, and it's tough. because the world around us wants to say, look like this, act like that, have this much money. Is your retirement ready? You can't be generous. You're supposed to save that money. You're supposed to do this with that money. You can't spend that time there. You're supposed to spend that time doing that extra extra project for work. But when success becomes who he thinks you are, joy follows, I promise you. I want to challenge you, I want to encourage you, and I want to just share with you that this is something every single one of us can experience. A happiness, a joy that is just unspeakable. And I wanted to just let you know that God is there for you. And this journey is something that is beautiful. So, if this is something that you want to do, if this is something that speaks to your heart and you say, I need to learn how to love myself, I need to learn God's definition of success, I need to stop using these excuses and understand there's something inside me that needs to change, the start line to that journey is up there. And I encourage you, spend time with him. Get a cup of coffee, go for a walk in nature, and just keep listening and keep journeying in that direction until he is able to break through and begin this flow of love through you to all those around you. God bless.